1,000 games while tens of thousands of people cheer or gently ridicule your choices.
Now, obviously, there are a few rules to this. Our contestant will only have 3 minutes to cram as many games as they can into their Steam shopping cart, and they get to keep anything they do. But they don't actually have to check out, and we'll be using the browser version of Steam because using the Steam client for this would be a handicap that nobody deserves. Additionally, they can't buy bundles because where's the challenge in that? They can't get software because this is the PC gaming show, not the PC video editing software show. They can't open any new browser tabs or their Steam wishlist because they can come prepared, but not that prepared. And finally, they can't actually buy a Vive because it's not sold directly through Steam. But they could get a Steam controller if they wanted to. For
They're not really. They're doing like a competition thing just now the way they normally do. So I'm not that.
Please join me in welcoming Christina to the stage.
Yay, Christina!
How you doing, Christina?
How you doing? How are you doing?
Thanks for joining us. So first, where are you coming from? I want to get a sense of you as a gamer here.
So over in the East Bay by San Francisco.
Cool, cool. So you drove down, and I guess you're just shooting to get more games than gas money. Is the way you're going for it?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for.
So what games do you usually play?
I haven't had time to make any one.
So I play on the PC and the PS4. So right now doing a lot of horror games.
What type of echo?
MOBAs, kind of a little bit of everything.
Cool. And so you say MOBA, but everyone kind of has their MOBA of taste, right? Like which one are you going for? League, Dota, something like that?
So I put in a lot of time into League, but right now I've been playing a lot of Smite.
Cool. That's awesome. I mean, Smite is probably like the 3rd or 4th biggest MOBA. It doesn't get enough time in the limelight, so I like that a lot. So first, how many games are already in your Steam library? Are you one of those people with like the Steam sale backlog, just like 300 games long?
No, I have a really short list right now. There's a lot of sales, and I've always wanted to try to get more games, and so this is a really great opportunity.
Cool, and I imagine you've practiced. Do you have a strategy in mind for this?
Just a little bit of practice, and yes, hopefully the strategy will work out.
Cool, well, why don't you take your position, and we'll get started. Everyone give a round of applause for Christina. Ready to win some Steam games? All right. So I'm going to count you down from 3, 2, 1, and then on go. You have 3 minutes to get as much stuff added to your cart as you possibly can. So take your marks. Make sure your DPI and all that is ready to go and set up. All right. Now, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, let's see what she's going for first. Going straight for the typing. I'm not sure I would do that. It might slow me down with typing. We're going for culling.
Nah, go for new release just now, man. Jesus, women.
Going for the culling. $15 game, a horror game. Good choice. It's good to have a strong first game in mind, right? Going straight from a horror game to Stardew Valley. That's a little bit of a flip, but that's fine. It's a variety of tastes. The interesting thing also, going back to the Stardew Valley soundtrack. Dead by Daylight next. So where are you going next with this?
I think I'm probably going to go into the featured items. Hopefully the upcoming games, since there's so many amazing games that are being announced.
Oh, upcoming. That's a dodgy one to do.
That's a really good strategy. For those of you who didn't notice, she just went to upcoming games and then immediately sorted by highest price. It's a bold strategy. The crowd is with you on that one, and I am too. You already got No Man's Sky. We have Dishonored 2, which wasn't even on Steam until yesterday, so it's a good thing we're doing this on Monday instead of Sunday. We have Watch Dogs 2 going for Mafia 3 now. You have less than 2 minutes left now. Civ 6. What are you going for next? The new reality game? I don't even know what that one was. There's too much on Steam to count at this point.
I don't know either, so we'll see later.
We're coming up on 90 seconds, almost half the time. You're going for the season pass of Doom. Do you have the normal Doom?
I don't.
Okay.
So,
going for the season pass first. We'll go back for the game later. That's fine. That's fine. This is, you got to notice her. She's definitely practiced. She's got this great little double tap of the back button. For those of you who don't know or have never tried to cram Steam games into your cart, you actually, every time you hit add to cart, you get sent to the cart, and you either have to go back pages or you have to go to the main page. And so she's got this down. You have 1 minute left, 60 seconds, going into Arma 3's Apex Edition. How you feeling? You happy with what you've got so far? You're on a tear.
I am pretty happy.
You're going straight to the bottom of the list.
Yeah, that's the goal.
What do you guys want to see her get? Is there any she's missed yet? We got Train Simulator and all the DLC. That's a good one. I'm not sure if I like that idea, actually. Hatful Boyfriend, there's another good one. Fallout 4.
God, no way.
30 seconds now, less than half a minute left, and you're filling up your cart.
Okay.
Doom, you do have the season pass. You need to go back for Doom as well. Mighty number 9 in there. Okay, we're going Doom. 20 seconds left now. Just under. We got Doom in there. The season pass was not a waste of time. 10, 9, 8.
You know what is a waste of time though?
6.
This
5,
fucking stream,
4,
man. Get to the games.
3, 2, 1, and that's it. Congratulations. Let's see what you got. 27 items in the cart for a grand total of $1,152.98.
Nice.
How do you feel about that?
Good.
Feel good?
I feel like in a little bit I'll kind of realize all the games that are in there and that they're all pre-ordered, and I'm going to be a very happy camper.
Yeah, you can't play 70% of what you just bought for like another
not just
3
yet.
months.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very happy to say, in addition to all the massive amount of 27 things you just bought on Steam, you'll also be going home with the full suite of Razer peripherals that you played on. That's the Razer Black Widow keyboard,
that's
the
what they
Mamba
were.
mouse, Firefly mousepad,
That's
Kraken
what they were
headset,
doing, yeah.
and Stargazer webcam. Congrats. Let's give one round of applause for Christina. Congratulations. That was a lot of fun. She did really good. That's amazing. I got like $400 worth of stuff when I tried it, so that's impressive. That's all for the Steam Speedrun presented by Razer, but don't go anywhere. The PC Gaming Show is just getting started. In a few short minutes, Sean Day 9 Plot will grace the stage with his
I know,
presence
he's been
for a
out
show
since the
chock
start.
full of reveals, trailers, and of course, lots and lots of PC games. We'll be joined by guests from Boss Key Productions, Tripwire, AMD, Square Enix, and a whole lot more. We're going to take a quick break, but be sure to stick around because you won't want to miss it.
Yay. Boom. There we go. Oh, bloody Nightbot, shut up. 2 seconds, guys. I'll tell Nightbot to shut up again. There we go. No, you haven't missed anything. You've missed literally nothing. I'm going to mute this just now so that that music's not coming through. Ah, yes, I'm so hyped to see Tyranny. Starts in 5 minutes. Right, well at least I managed to get that stuff done. Let's... Oh god. Nice one. Yep, nice one. I'm proud of yous. You couldn't have just kept it going, could you have? Nope. I know, right? Even though they gave me...
This is the part where all those people that are like, PC Master Race.
Yeah, this is where they all get to stick a big middle finger up at all you console scrubs.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Do as well, PC. Yo. Yeah, that's no problem. Do I shout when it starts? No. Right, finally everything's set up. How much sleep did I get? Ah, a decent amount actually. I thought you were making tea, babe. Oh, that's okay. Totally fine. She got 27 games with a grand, pretty much. It's a bit odd, bit of an odd one. Ah, Right, let's do this. I can't even check my Twitter or anything. Right. Hey, finally, good job. Do you mind just like, oh, I'm going to refresh it. There we go. Nice. E3. Let's get this going, man. Best PC games are announced by their own dev shows like at BlizzCon. Yeah, but you never know, man. We should see some interesting shit here. The PC show sucked last year, yeah, but this is great because it means I get to slag off AMD for releasing underspec'd shit like they normally do. Okay. Close that, don't need that. Yeah, Paradox have confirmed that Tyranny is going to be shown. And something I can tell you guys is that Bannerlord will be seeing some action at E3 as well. Oh, we've got, as usual, with anything to do with PC gaming, some sick-ass dubstep. Absolute worst. You don't have the money for a super great PC. Yeah, that's the issue, man. PCs are expensive. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. So looking forward to it. Do anything for Warcraft 4, that would be amazing. Like, I doubt we'll ever see a Warcraft 4, but it would be great. Come on. The wub 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 has to be silent so that I don't get copyright claimed on it. I can give you a little peek. That's about all you're allowed. Wob 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 wob. How's it going, Deanne? Ah. You think it'll come when StarCraft 2 dies? You think they'll release another Warcraft? I don't know, man. I hope they do. I hope they do. It'd be amazing if they did, but just not seeing it. Half-Life 3, you think that they'd announce Half-Life 3 at the PC stream? What am I looking for in PC for E3? I'm looking to see some more stuff to do with Tyranny. I'm looking to see the Bannerlord stuff. But other than that, like, I don't know, man, just surprise me. Surprise me. I would like to be surprised. Oh, here we go.
The PC Gaming Show!
Woo!
My name's Day 9. I will be your host for today's show. Good morning. It's so wonderful to have you here. Hello to all of you on Twitch. I'm so glad you typed in the right URL to be here. Huge thanks again to PC Gamer and AMD for putting on the show again, huh? Good stuff.
Yay.
In this beautiful theater that honestly looks like a level from Diablo 3.
Sorry.
I'm excited because it's the day before E3, which for a gamer is basically the day before Christmas. And we're going to kick it off on day 0 with 100 minutes of PC-focused content where we're going to be bringing in guests to talk about all sorts of exciting updates and exclusives that I can't wait to share with you. So without any further ado, for all of you here in the audience, for all of you at home, join me this morning and let's celebrate PC gaming.
I like how the audience just doesn't give a fuck. Arc. Witcher. I think the previous one was Fallout. Doom. Stardew Valley. Really? Arma. I'm not sure what that one is. Rocket League. Great, show me all the shit that's come out already.
Let us begin. It's time to bring out our very first guests, who are going to be introducing the 3rd incarnation in their famous RTS series, Dawn of War. From Relic Entertainment, join me in welcoming Philip Boole and Brent Disbrow.
Dawn of War, like...
Welcome, please join me.
I've got a copy of Dawn of War sitting there.
Good to see you, Philip. Brent,
It's not exciting, I've already got
and
it.
of course, Space Marine, hello. Yes. It wouldn't be Dawn of War without a Space Marine looming behind our conversation. So, you know, right away.
Why do they insist on doing these stupid fucking interviews?
Dawn of War 2, much more squad focus. What's the direction Dawn of War 3 is going in?
Well, with Dawn of War 3, we're taking those proven mechanics, those proven gameplay styles of the epic battles of Dawn of War 1 and the elite.
I feel like this is going to go very much like Bethesda, where I just sit and slag it off.
New mechanics we're introducing. That we
It's like they're doing an interview with the Dawn of War 3
exciting new
devs.
version of Dawn of War.
I've got Dawn
I
of War
understand we
3
have some
sitting in my
gameplay
Steam
footage
library
to
just
show
now.
off
I
right
could sit
away.
and play it.
We do, for the very first time,
Or
we're
would I
getting
like to
to
show
show
it?
gameplay footage from Dawn
It's
of
a
War
Space
3.
Marine.
I am so excited to
Yeah,
finally
it's
be able
cosplay.
to share this with all of
Do you
you,
remember the
everyone
one
watching at home.
I-57?
It's going to be awesome.
Now, keep in mind, this is still in development, so we shouldn't rush to judgment immediately, but let's go ahead
Dawn
and
of War is
totally do
amazing.
that with this first look.
I should be more
at
hyped about Dawn of
3
War, but the
gameplay.
fact that I've got it means that...
I'm on my way, but it's just me.
Don't be reckless. Wait for backup.
There's no time.
They'll kill
Have
you.
fun in the land of PC noobs.
They can try.
Why are they showing free alpha stuff? Like... Boom!
They're where we want them. Now, Dauntless, open fire!
I don't know what I can or can't say about Dawn of War, but I can tell you that the camera angle is changeable if you don't like the camera angle.
Glorious.
I'm not allowed to say a lot
So
about
there was
it.
a lot going on in there. Walk me through how the pieces of the battle fit together.
Sure. Well, we saw a lot of things there. I should say we had a little bit of fun with the camera, as you can tell.
I assume that's not the player flying around in the middle of the game.
So we showed off a whole bunch of things in those few minutes. Planet Acheron, which is one of our new settings, a planet of ice and fire at the same time. Gabriel Angelos, the chapter master of the Blood Ravens, one of
That
our
was
elite
new footage,
heroes,
Mark,
and the
as far as I'm
returning
aware.
story hero for Dawn of War. Lady Solaria, our Imperial Knight, that giant robot, which is the biggest and best unit we've ever done. The Space Marines as a whole, with their drop pod mechanic, which we call Death from Above. You saw them in action. And then just a hint of that great space laser.
Yeah, okay, I was
orbital
going to ask,
bombardment.
because you used Death from Above not in reference to the huge space laser. Tell me about the space laser.
So the space laser is their super ability, orbital bombardment. It's sort of the end game ability for the Space Marines, where you get to drop this giant finger of God laser from the sky, and you actually can control it like a squad. So you can actually move it around the field. It gets bigger as it does more damage, but it slows down, so there's a bit of counterplay there as the enemy can get out of the way.
Right.
But it just feels awesome.
Now, Brent, tell me a little bit about what it's like to design a campaign in the Warhammer universe.
It's great. You know, the Warhammer universe is very rich, and you know what we're doing with Dawn of War 3's campaign is we're telling the epic story that fans, players expect, and we're telling it
No,
from
someone's inside that
viewpoint
Space Marine
of
armor.
three
It's
special
cosplay.
heroes, that are representing each faction, and it's a tale that kind of interweaves between their perspectives, allowing players to kind of experience the armies as they go through the game.
And so was that footage from the single-player campaign?
That's from an excerpt. It's excerpted from our E3 mission,
right.
but that E3 mission is part of a bigger mission. So when we release the game, what you'll see is that E3 mission, that cool footage, in the context of a larger mission.
So cool. And I understand that there's even some more footage coming up down the line.
Yeah, we'll be releasing full footage of that E3 mission on Twitch and YouTube on June 24th.
Too easy, just in time for my birthday.
Well, happy
Don't
birthday.
forget. Don't forget, right. Now, guys, thank you so much for being our very first guest to come out on the stage. Thank you, Space Marine, with your beautiful sword. Philip Bull and Brent Disbro from Relic Entertainment.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Now, our next video piece is from a development studio you might not have heard of, Clay Entertainment, but you've almost certainly heard of their games. Yeah, woo, that's what I'm talking about, audience participation.
How's no one heard of
They
Clay?
made the games Mark of the Ninja and Don't Starve. Let's take a look at their upcoming title, Oxygen Not Included.
No, I was voting for the exact same. Oh. I don't think I've seen this. We went for the same art style, which is nice. Like the
Given how much I enjoy
Don't
Dying and
Starve.
Don't Starve, I can't wait to play Oxygen Not Included. Now, our next guests are absolute sensation on Twitch TV, where they make a game filled with dinosaurs. Let's bring out the creators of Ark Survival Evolved. It's Jesse and Forrest Rapsack.
Oh, really? Like
Welcome.
Hey, Sean.
Good to see you, Jesse. Good to see you, Forrest.
More Ark
Come
stuff.
join me on the stage.
Next we'll
I mean,
have
right
the
away, I
Rocket
have
League
to ask
devs. Did
what
you watch?
it's been like to have such a rabid community and so many people just creating content around your game.
It's insane. When we put out the mod tools last year, something PC gaming is huge, passionate about. We've had a few mod contests already. We've gotten really amazing stuff from the creators. We've hired a few of them because their mods were so good. You know, so we hope to do more of this, making more changes to the mod kit and everything, and it's been really amazing to see what's being made every day.
Yeah, and I understand you have some new content you want to share with us today, a new biome.
We are pumped.
A new damn dinosaur.
That's right.
Oh, lovely. Walk me through what we're seeing here, Jesse.
So
I loved Ark.
Ark
Ark was such a good game.
It's a place that's unlike any other on the Ark. There's giant ancient trees that can't be harvested, which affords players the ability to build treetop bases and have a new verticality to the gameplay. There's new resources that can only be found in the redwood biome. And as you can see, it's just like a gorgeous looking place. Grappling hooks are very useful in this biome. And we're really excited to get this thing out so players can have that new diversity on the island.
I mean, it's kind of incredible, like the rich depth in the background, just sort of seeing all the sort of looming danger there, which is really a core piece of Ark's gameplay.
That's exactly correct.
All right, here's the dinosaur. Jesse, stop what you're saying. Tell me about the dinosaur.
This is the Titanosaurus. This guy's been a long time coming. The biggest dinosaur on the island by far. There's only a few of them. They're kind of indestructible. You can build giant bases on them. Their attacks are devastating, and they can't, they can't be tamed in a traditional way. They're immune to narcotics. They require a special takedown method related to kind of KOing them in the head with some bigger artillery. So.
Yeah, you can build a fortress on the dinosaur.
Yeah, science tells us that's possible.
Of course. Ark based on real science. Now, modding obviously a huge
That's been in for a while, that.
of just Ark's culture. I mean, talk to me a little bit about this mod.
This is actually Primitive Plus. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Jesse, go ahead.
Yeah, Primitive Plus is a mod that we've created, or Cedric created, one of our community guys originally that came in-house. And he's been working on this for a while. It's been available to PC gamers for quite some time. But we're making it an official mod now. This will be later in July. We'll be putting it on our official servers. And this will allow people to easily get into this mod, which is really good for role-playing. It's living off the land. It's got a whole lot of new resources. It allows you to play the game without the high technology tier, and it really opens up a lot of new gameplay mechanics.
Seems really centered around just creating an in-game community.
That's right, yeah. And
like storefronts and ways for people to trade.
Yep, storefronts, ways for people to trade things. I mean, it's really awesome. And this is just an example of one of those mods that was created. There's so many other things available right now through our mod. You can play Ark on the Moon with Ark Moon Survival. There's new competitive game modes like Tribe Wars. There's new maps all over the place that have been opening up the world for people to play Ark.
And another of the mods that you brought in, and my understanding is that these are brought in-house now to be
Some of
part
them
of
are,
the official launch as well.
Right.
That you get to play any animal in the game.
So this started off actually as our.
I have no idea what she's saying.
Started off as our April Fool's joke, and we decided to make it a real mod. So we are going to bring this in your future, and people can play as ants. You can play as frogs. You can play as a wolf. It's pretty neat.
That's right. One of our partner developers, Instinct Games, is actually developing this out of Egypt. And they have been working on this for a little while, and it's so exciting because you can play as the creatures of Ark, go through their life cycles from babies to adults. You know, we started Ark and we added the poop button, and in this mod you have the mate button. Because as
these are important buttons.
They are buttons
for the content release.
Yeah. You know, it's great button remapping. All the hardware carriers are really going crazy over this. But no, the goal is to create a pack, right? To create a pack of creatures and play with that pack of creatures, make new babies, raise them, level them up. You can play kind of asynchronously against the other species on the island. Of course, there's all sorts of people choosing different types of dinosaurs. Yeah, and then
Predator mode.
yeah.
Predator vision.
Every dinosaur has a unique kind of, or creature has a unique vision, and of course we've got humans on the island as well.
Yeah, Forrest, what are they doing there?
Well, you know, they're throwing poop. That's what they do. That's what monkeys do.
Wow.
I think the monkeys are going to be very popular.
Critical buttons upcoming in the
I
next
think people
release.
like playing as the monkeys.
So once again,
That's
you know,
pretty
this is
cool.
going to be an official mod. Instinct Games, our partner team out of Egypt, developing.
It's pretty
this.
sweet
It'll
that they're
be
doing
coming later
that.
This year, as an
This is
official
crap
mod
compared to the
on
Xbox one.
That's
Yeah, it's
so
PC
awesome.
gaming.
Forrest,
It's
of course,
always
I have
shit.
to ask about your involvement with streaming, sharing content for the community. What's that experience been like?
Oh, it's been amazing. I mean, our community is just absolutely outstanding. They get so involved and are honestly so creative. I mean, we really try to incorporate ideas that the community comes up with when we find things that we think are like, we should have thought of that, you know? So
Well, you're going to give me the gift of being able to role play as an ant and leave scents everywhere.
totally. And I'm going to be
Hello.
the frog, though, so
Thank
you better
you.
watch out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jesse and Forrest Rapsack from Ark Survival Evolved. Guys, thank you so much for coming
Thanks,
out.
John.
Thank you.
Now, I normally like to do a little spiel to lead into each thing, to just frame it. But for this one, I don't have to. All I'm going to do is tell you the title. Up next, we have Giant Cop.
Giant what?
You should try it, man. It's very free.
Giant cop.
Coming to Micro Beach used to be a great natural experience. Do some naked sunbathing, naked barbecue, naked hula hoop, naked Sudoku. Now it's so restricted and boring. It all started going downhill when they brought in that giant...
People have no decency today. I couldn't even go to the beach without seeing peckers and hoo-has everywhere. But the beach is a much nicer place now. I can take my kitties on a leisurely stroll and not have to worry about all that indecency.
That giant cop is great, like a super detective. My prized petunia plant beauty was stolen. I was heartbroken. I gave Giant Cop a picture of my beauty, and that dirty thief was quickly dealt with.
Micro City's not the same anymore, man.
What the hell is this? This is nonsense.
I no longer fear walking home now the Giant Cop has eyes everywhere. The streets feel much safer.
Our police force is top-notch, and our city has never been better because of it. I am happy to have the Giant Cop here to serve us. Giant Cop is the greatest.
Lol. That sounds pretty fish. I don't even
Innovations in VR.
Wow.
Told you I didn't need to tell you anything. Now our next title.
Yeah, you don't
is
need to
the
tell us
sequel
anything
to
to
a
do
game
shit,
that
mate.
At first I struggled with, but then fell in love with the combat. That game was Mount and Blade. Coming up next, we have a little intro video to the sequel, Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. Let's take a look.
Right. Oh, damn! Is that voxel based? Oh, how beautiful does this game look? Oh. Oh, man. Oh, I cannot wait.
Join me in welcoming to the stage from Tale World's community manager, Frank Elliott. Frank, it's so good to see you again.
Hi, Sean.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, Frank, I just want you to start off by talking a little bit about what is Mount and Blade for those who are unfamiliar.
Okay, to summarize very, very quickly, Mount and Blade is an action, RPG, strategy, simulation, sandbox, very like amalgam of all those genres. And what you are is essentially, you're like just a regular person in the world. You can become a lord, you can run your own faction, you fight in the battles alongside your troops when you're commanding them as well. There's politics, there's trade. It's very much a feudal simulation game, if you will.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I brought up the combat earlier. I mean, a lot of games have you hit the button to do the punch.
Nice.
But I mean, in Mount and Blade, it's much more physical, much more involved. And I mean, here, this is the big news of Mount and Blade 2, the Siege. Walk me through what we're seeing here.
Okay, well, this is our Siege gameplay, and really this is kind of one of the areas of the game where players wanted to see most improvement from us. So what we did is we worked a lot, we added in loads of different mechanics, so we've got things like destruction now, you've got ballistae, mangonels, and obviously as the player you can just push your soldier aside, grab one, fire right at that battlement, blast a piece of it off, and you're essentially very, very involved in the fight.
That's pretty cool.
We have like multiple lanes of attack now as well, and you get to deploy, choose how you approach each castle.
And right now, how many players are there on each side, or excuse me, humans on each side in this fight?
Well, yeah, essentially this is one of our single-player sieges, and we have like 350 guys on our side, and the defenders have a bit less, on 150. So there's about 500 total, all operating individually, acting independently, using their own attacks and blocks. But we can push that a little bit further in the final game, we think.
And how does
But
a
that's only
siege
single player.
evolve over time? What's the beginning, middle, and end of a siege?
Well, essentially, you're doing a siege to take over some land, right? Exploit the natural resources and sort of gain more money because you sort of expanded your faction. So you spend some time on the campaign map, bombarding, doing some damage to the castle, and then you get into the fight and have this huge, dramatic, climactic battle against the enemy.
I mean, I understand that so much of the inspiration from the game is just historical research. How does that factor into the siege?
That's exactly right. I mean, that's a huge part of the way we design the game. We actually look at history, and we look at what worked, and also why it worked. So you see these murder holes up here. I mean, like getting into a castle is supposed to be a real, like, massive pain, right? It's a really hard thing to do. And so once you're trying to smash down that gate, you've got the defenders from above, like throwing rocks, throwing jars of oil all over you, and you're having a really hard time fighting this very historically themed castle.
I mean, the scope of it is just incredible. And I mean, I know with all the intricate systems, not just the combat, but the political, the economic system, that modding is a really big part of Mount and Blade as well.
Absolutely. I mean, modding has been part of Mount and Blade right from the very start. I mean, from the very beta of the first game, we had modders coming in, and it's really sort of helped to fuel our community growth and helped to actually kind of fuel development in a way as well. We've taken a lot of ideas from the modding scene. So in Bannerlord, we tried to give back to the community because we love them so much. And what we're going to do is we're going to give them all of the tools which we use for development, and also we're going to allow them to combine mods. So someone might make a mod which changes something about diplomacy, someone might add a skill, and then another person adds maybe like a new weapon or an armor. And players can actually grab all of those mods, combine them into one,
awesome.
And play them in the game. Yeah.
Well, for any of you who have not played Mount and Blade, I personally strongly recommend it. Frank, thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah, if you haven't played Mount and Blade,
2.
I can play it, man. It's such a good game. Made a lot better by the mods,
now,
as usual, with most of these types of games.
Our next video piece is from the maker of Lords of the Fallen, creating another game inspired by Dark Souls, but in this realm, it is in a sci-fi setting. Let's take a look at The Surge.
A sci-fi Dark Souls?
Changing the world is easy. Governments, corporations, they've always done it. Till this is all that's left. Slowly roasting under the solar rays. Forged from imperfection, steeled by technology.
It's a sci-fi Dark Souls.
We're the cogs
Not made by the
in
same
their
people.
machine. And yet we struggle on.
Oh!
We are human, so we fight. But are we fighting for our future or theirs?
The Surge. I know, man, that looks pretty f***ing good.
A game I will definitely play.
Why did you cut to this
was
dick?
here last year talking about
showed actual
Project
gameplay.
Blue Streak. And now we get the chance to know that it is called LawBreakers. Up next, we have a video of a brand new map to play on in the game. It's called Promenade.
Welcome to Santa Monica Island in the rebuilt California Keys. Tourists used to love this place until the good, the bad, and the straight-up ugly arrived. Now we've got organized crime and mercenaries taking on cops and vigilantes, all floating and fighting in our damn streets. When you jump into zero G, how are you gonna win the war? Will you fly like a rocket? Or swing through the sky?
Step into the shadow!
That looks kind of interesting, actually.
You have picked up the battery.
Will you be on the right side of the blade or the wrong side of a gun? LawBreakers.
I don't know, man. Looks kind of interesting.
Oh, join me in welcoming the CEO of Boss Key Productions, Cliff Blazinski.
The Surge is probably the
How's it going, man?
thing
Cliff,
that I'm most
nice
excited
shoes. I
about.
see you.
The
Those
Surge
are
and
weird. Those are my
Bannerlord
fresh kicks,
so
man.
far.
Those are great.
I'm at the age where I just want them to be comfortable. That's all I really care about. And I got to cast iced tea again. How awesome is that? This ain't utopia.
Well, outside of shoes, I want to jump straight into talking about your game.
Absolutely.
Right away, the movement, the motion, the verticality sticks out. Talk to me about that design element, because it harkens back to like Quake and Unreal days.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, we've talked about those kinds of games, and I think they're doing a new Quake, which looks pretty cool as well. But it's really important to note that what we're doing is evolving this kind of game for kind of a new generation that expects kind of abilities and characters that have different kind of health and different movement styles. Right. And
That
so
is, it's just another Overwatch.
Games, these first-person shooters, it's not just the shooting, it's the movement. It's how you flow through
But,
the environment.
yeah, it's
whether
kinda
or not the
interesting.
player actually has momentum. Then when you add in low gravity and the player zips into low gravity and jumps out, and they can actually bunny hop a little bit. So you start to get a little bit of that kind of like, strafe jumping, tribes skiing little vibe going on in there. And then when you add in zero-G and low gravity and blind firing behind you, it gets really, really interesting.
And I mean, this is the new map Promenade, I understand.
Which thankfully, the thing is here at E3, we're finally able to show off a new map, a new arena, because we've been showing off Grandview for so long, which is our kind of repurposed Grand Canyon. And now this is kind of my re-envisioning of what Santa Monica and Los Angeles could be in the near future and whatnot after an earthquake and humanity manages to rebuild Los Angeles properly without all the darn cars.
It's a very ambitious plan for Los Angeles.
Dude, it's really my thinly veiled middle finger to this town, because I love this town, but I hate it. It's like you're always in cars, you're always in traffic, so it's like if we could have like the big dig in LA and put all the cars underground self-driving, then we could have like lovely Frank Gehry architecture everywhere. And the Santa Monica Pier is reimagined with it's not just a Ferris wheel, but it's like omnidirectional now, along with a big zero-G pocket in the middle.
And I mean, in terms of just the gameplay, what has it been like to try to balance all the different motion routes that players can go through when there's so much freedom?
It's completely unbalanced right now. And that's why we're actually going to be doing the public alpha. And so when we do these public alphas, we actually say, come help break this game with us. We've had some streamers who are already playing the game giving us feedback on the health stations or feedback on the player speed and movement. Right. And we're having these boiling debates inside the studio, and I tell everyone, get used to it, because this is part of the process of 2016 and beyond and making a living product with your fans.
Yeah. I have to ask right away, there's so many different kinds
Why
of
are we getting
shooters
so
coming
much
out
on
with
this?
Overwatch, with Battleborn, with Paladins. I mean, how do you see LawBreakers fitting into the mix with all these types of shooters coming out?
I had this epiphany the other day, and I didn't tweet it in spite of my trash talking on Twitter. The fact that, if Overwatch is Street Fighter, we're going to be Mortal Kombat. Overwatch feels like it's kind of skewed, towards a kind of an anime fan type vibe, right? And it's a fantastic game. My wife is really good at Mercy, by the way. Don't go up against her. She gets to play the game every time. But we're like kind of the Western version of that actually has, a little bit of cursing, a little bit of gore. It's not gratuitous, but, we're going back to the kind of the roots of a shooter where you can actually do a star fall down and boom, cause people to explode.
Well, awesome. I mean, you talked about alpha plans. What is the more specific timeline?
So basically what we're doing, we have our kind of alpha timeline coming out here in a second here, where we're doing a public alpha, and it's actually on the 18th of June, this weekend, where if you go to PCGamer.com, you can enter your name and possibly get in. There's only a limited amount of tickets that you can get in for that, and preloading will start on the 16th, so you're not sitting there on the 18th eating up all your bandwidth downloading the darn game. So basically what we're building up to is early access for everyone. I'm not revealing that date yet in regards to when the game's, paid and whatnot, but it's free. There's
not a game that I'd be interested in, to be fair, but
I mean, the game. You can put it on YouTube. You can tweet me, tweet LawBreakers. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you hate. Call us assholes. I don't really care. Just give us your feedback. That's what we're going for.
Cliff,
they will.
Cliff, I love it, and I guarantee you will get that feedback. And I'm excited to play the game. I'm going to tweet at you. I want to get access. Once again, PCGamer.com/law. I believe that there were several thousand keys available, but they're all gone. Guaranteed.
Good problem to have.
Of course. So, ladies and gentlemen, Cliff Lazinski from LawBreakers. Thank you so much for coming out, Cliff. It was a pleasure. Now, we've brought some developers on to talk about their upcoming games and their upcoming content, but another very important group in the industry is the players themselves creating new strategies to use against each other. And that content, that spectacle, has exploded into the world of esports, a world very personal and near and dear to me. So to talk about it, let's look at this video clip from Yahoo Esports.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrea Renee for Yahoo Esports. We wanted to take a moment during this year's PC gaming show to celebrate esports.
Before esports had all this money in it, it was a very grassroots situation.
But it wasn't really until the recent years, as we saw the advent of
Travis.
online streaming and some of these bigger esports titles, that things have really gotten huge.
I've been involved with Street Fighter since the early
Nice job, mate.
90s when it came out in arcades. We didn't have a lot of tournaments like we do now. So 25 years later, there's just this massive growth, and it's amazing to see where the game has gone and where it could potentially go.
This is a really exciting time for Dota 2. At the International 5, EG pulled off the perfectly coordinated Echo Slam in order to take home the big prize pool.
Ready for the
Usual PC gamer.
I remember
E3
way back in 2011
wasting
watching the
time,
League of Legends Season 1
announcing
finals,
absolutely
with 100,000
fuck all.
viewers concurrently on stream, and that was when I knew League of Legends was here to stay.
My first stadium event was an IEM, and I remember when I was watching Counter-Strike there, that every single time someone hit like a really sick flick shot with an op, the whole audience like reacted like someone had scored a touchdown.
From Fallen in CSGO, Faker in League of Legends, and Fear in Dota 2, it is incredible to see everyday gamers rise to superstardom.
Evo Moment 37 is probably the most defining moment in fighting games and possibly esports history. It's a moment that drew so much attention and brought players into the scene. You can talk to so many different players who will point to that defining moment as a time they got into fighting games.
I remember the feeling when I was at BlizzCon in 2015 and the Heroes of the Storm audience was all the way to the very back of the giant convention center. They even had to take out a wall to allow for more people to watch. It was insane.
The introduction of live streaming and Twitch has exploded viewership of esports in a way I don't
Yeah,
think
give us some
anyone
Civ
really
6
thought
stuff.
possible.
The prize pools are getting bigger, the viewership numbers are getting bigger,
Although,
and
not
there's
really
more
bothered with
monetary
Civ 6.
sponsors, and I'm so excited to see where it goes.
The future of esports is happening right now. It's growing every day.
With the introduction of more and more games like Overwatch or Hearthstone, esports can only get bigger as time goes on. It can only gain more fans. It can only become more exciting.
Count on a diet. I love esports.
If you don't follow
don't get me
esports,
wrong.
now's as good a time to start as any League of Legends or Dota 2 or Counter-Strike watchers, any StarCraft players out there in the audience today. Esports fans, there we go. Start now, just go to Twitch, it's all over the place. Now, in addition to players being a critical piece of the industry, the technologists are as well, constantly creating new innovations for us to play with. So, joining me on the stage today is the lead sponsor of the PC Gaming Show, here to talk about some new goodies. Join me in welcoming from AMD, the CEO, Lisa Su. Lisa,
Hello,
hey.
Sean. How are you,
Good to
man?
see you.
It's good to see you.
I'm doing great. I'm just hosting a show. What about you?
I'm just hanging in there, developing some new technology.
That makes sense. I mean, tell me right away about Polaris.
You know what? We are extremely excited about Polaris. You know, Polaris has been in the making for a number of months, and we're getting ready to launch it. And Polaris is all about getting the best gaming experiences to as many gamers as possible. And you know, most gamers have a budget, and it's usually around $100 to $300. That's about 84% of the market. And for us, we're trying to get extremely enthusiast-class performance at those types of price points so that all gamers can enjoy that kind of performance.
And I know it's not just the hardware side, but also the software side.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we've doubled down on software, you know, game-ready drivers, working on the new APIs like DX12 and Vulkan. And we have a little bit of a treat to show you what we can do with Polaris and the guys at id on the new game Doom.
Let's go ahead and take a look at Doom running on Polaris.
Hi, I'm Marty, and this is Robert. We're back here at id working on a number of updates for Doom, and specifically Doom running on Vulkan. Gamers can look forward to a buttery smooth experience in Doom on Polaris, supporting a wide range of hardware and gamer budgets.
We believe the experience on AMD will be hard to beat across all hardware.
Want to play Doom on your laptop on the train
Yawn.
home?
It's not
Polaris
Stellaris,
plus
it's
Vulkan is
Polaris.
going to make that possible. Bottom line is, you're not going to need a $700 video card to enjoy Doom at fantastic frame rates.
Nonsense. Yeah, you can just watch it. You can just play it like a potato.
Return. Last year we had a box. This year we got a box.
The box is bigger this year.
What's in the box?
Oh, just open the box this fucking
We
time.
couldn't come to the PC Gaming Show without showing off some new technology. So let's see what we got here. We are showing off for the very first time the entire Polaris lineup, our 3 cards. So let me take you through them. First, let's start with the Radeon RX 480. This is our newest card for premium VR.
Specs are riot.
And this is disruptive. This gets premium VR at $199 and above price points, and we love this card, going on sale starting June 29th.
How much?
And then we have
This
two
is
other
$199
cards
and
here,
above.
which are pretty exciting as well. We have the RX 470 and the RX 460. The 470 is really focused on excellent performance per watt, so it's 2.8x over the previous generation. And you get full HD experiences, 1080p running 60 frames per second. Gorgeous card. We'll have many, many different versions of this from our add-in board partners. And then we have the 460, which is really focused on esports. So I heard about all those esports fans in the audience. This guy is going to be the best card in the industry. Less than 75 watts, cool, fast. I think you're going to love these cards. So we're really excited about our new technology here.
Yeah, nice, nice specs there. Thanks.
And you know,
yeah, I
it's
can
not
run
just,
1080p,
you know, you were talking to me about
60
VR yesterday, and
FPS.
it's not just that these support existing technologies. You introduced to me the word a VR backpack, which I was completely confused by yesterday. Talk to me a little bit about that today.
So it's one of the cool things. I mean, you know, we're super excited about VR. VR has the opportunity to put incredible number of new applications there. And it's not just about the hardware, but it's about how we work with our OEMs. So my friend Renee here, part of the AMD Red team, is showing off a new Alienware reference design using the RX 480. And you can see the entire PC is in that backpack with the graphics card. And you're able to run, you know, full high-definition VR experiences with this reference design. So is that cool or what?
I mean,
Very
so this
fucking
is the sort
dorky.
of thing that you could like take to an open field and
It's
be
all
able to just
mainstream
wander
stuff, yeah.
around as opposed to just being in a room doing what I do, like punching the wall when I'm playing a VR game.
That's
I'm Intel,
absolutely
which is
right.
why
Who
I'm
wants to be
like, horrible
sitting
against the
down? You
AMD.
want to be able to do everything that you want to
AMD
do.
is just in a
with
gutter
VR
right now, man.
experience. And
Like,
this is really
show me
just the
something to be
beginning
excited
with
about
what
AMD.
we can do with the Radeon RX series.
Been in the gutter
Now, in
for
terms
the
of
last
working with
like year and a
developers,
half.
You mentioned Crow Team earlier. Tell me a little bit about your work with Crow Team.
Yeah, so look, I think VR is about the entire ecosystem, you know, the graphics cards, the OEMs, but it's also about the software. We have been working on new software called Liquid VR, which makes it easier for people to deliver VR experiences. You know, Crow Team is ultra famous for all their work with Serious Sam, and what we've been trying to do is help them develop VR content actually
Ultra
using our
famous.
multiple GPU features. You know, so what I'd like to say is, you know, we each have two eyes. Don't you think we should have two GPUs?
That is perfectly logical.
Coming from the person
let's
selling the
see some of
GPUs,
what
yeah,
Crow
of course
Team
it's
is doing.
perfectly
It's
logical.
really exciting.
Serious Sam in VR.
Devolver Digital.
Looks to me like things just got seriously real. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, nice. I love a bit of Serious Sam in VR.
Get ready to get serious.
What's with all these like
still
PC
laugh.
trailers being so fucking
We
like
love Serious
short?
Sam, so.
Now, outside of GPUs, tell me about the CPU side of things at AMD.
All right, that's a little bit of a secret. But look, we love CPUs. We think they really go in a pair, and we've been doing quite a bit of development on CPUs. We have a new development called Zen. Zen is going first into enthusiast-class desktop processors for gamers, and we've really optimized around high performance, 8 cores, 16 threads, really exciting stuff. Sean, I wanted to bring the lab here, but I needed the engineers to do some work. So
That would have been an odd show to have the lab on stage, and I'm glad that you brought the video to allow us to take a look at the new Summit Ridge line.
Yeah, the 1080 is the GTX 1080 is the best graphics card you can get at the moment.
Exciting update from the AMD Bring Up Labs. We've been testing out the Zen core, and we've been doing our integration level tests, our feature enablement, and we have Summit Ridge running Doom.
I still think you're better off getting a 980 Ti than a 1080 to be fair. Yeah, you do.
Lisa, thank you so much for coming out today. It's been a pleasure to see all.
Is that all we're getting?
We are extremely excited about what we can do this year. And Sean, thank you. And all PC gamers, AMD is for you.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
Lisa
all.
Sue
Wow,
from
AMD. Wow. What a fucking waste of time.
It's a lot of fun. Now, let's talk about video games. Our upcoming title is from the makers of Life is Strange and Remember Me, the studio Don't Nod. Let's take some first exclusive
Life is Strange
look
devs
from
are doing
gameplay
something
footage
else.
Of Vampire.
Cough.
I know I should feel something. So why don't I? What does it mean?
Oh.
That I'm dead too?
Steady, boys. We got one of them here.
Oh, actual gameplay of Vampire. Nice. I just got poked. I don't know, the combat doesn't feel very weighty. It doesn't seem very weighty.
You're mine, vermin!
Oh! Yeah, Vampire got leaked already, but this isn't the leaked stuff. This is new. I don't know.
Awfully different from Life is Strange.
Yeah, it's slightly different from Life is Strange.
Now, our next guests were here last year where they were talking about the updates to their Gore engine technology, and here they're excited to talk about upcoming content. It's for Killing Floor 2. Let's welcome Tripwire Interactive's John Gibson.
John, great to see you again.
It is a pleasure. John, please join me here, and I'm going to ask you the easiest question ever. What's coming up with Killing Floor 2?
What's coming up? Okay, so Killing Floor 2, it's been out in early access for a little while. So it came out last year. And we put out 4 major content packs for it. We have a really exciting one coming up called Bullseye. And it's got more weapons, more ways to kill the monsters, more way to kill players as the monsters. It's really exciting.
You get to play as a Zed.
You get to play as the Zeds.
Num, 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 num. Now, in terms of that experience of having it in early access, what has that been like to have so many people getting to play for so long and giving you the feedback leading up to this content patch?
Oh, it's been really great. We've learned so much. You know, we've developed analytic system to measure, what people like, what people don't like, because it's really hard when you have like 1 million people like all shouting things at you at the same time to tell what you really need to change. But in this upcoming update, we've added a lot of their feedback into the game and really retuned things based on that feedback. So it's been a great feedback loop.
That's so cool. And you brought today some footage of Bullseye. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
It looks mental. It looks metal. That's interesting. That was something that was definitely missing. We're bringing in community maps now. Available now? Huh.
John, you're going to have to walk me through a little bit of that action. Tell me what we just saw.
Okay, so you saw the new Sharpshooter perk. It's all about killing the monsters from a long range. You saw the really cool new weapon, the Horzine Tech Railgun. It's this beast railgun that you can knock those giant monsters right on their butts. New characters. We've got some community maps that we're taking official.
Yeah, no, walk me through that process. How did that go from just something the community made to actually being part of the game proper?
So we had this community mapping contest called the Grindhouse Mapping Contest. And so now we're taking those best maps, we're helping them polish them up, and we're shipping them as part of the game.
That's so cool.
So people in the community are actually getting their content in the full game.
And I mean, we've been using the term full game. Killing Floor 2 has been in early access for a long time. What's coming up next down the line? When does it leave early access?
Well, we're planning on it leaving early access this fall. So we can officially announce that this fall you're going to be able to get your hands on the full version of the game. And also one thing really exciting, actually I'd like to do right now. I'm sorry, I wouldn't normally pull my phone out in the middle of an interview, but you know, all that cool stuff that you just saw, hold on. It's live right now.
Oh, that's
you can play the update right now.
Nice.
Did you actually do anything on your phone, or is that just a prop phone?
That's just a sound. But somebody on the other side of the planet pushed a button that released the update.
Okay, no, that makes a lot more sense.
That was their cue.
Yeah, because I don't know if you could hear this in the audience, but when he hit it, it actually began to play a sound. And I was like, that's a lot of effort. You could have just said it, right?
I could have.
Well, John, I understand there's something extra you wanted to talk about today.
Yes, there is. Just real quick, for Killing Floor 2, for those of you that haven't got to try it, we're starting a free weekend on Steam, starting Thursday, running to Monday. So if you want to play it, you haven't got a chance, you want to fight the monsters, because we just added that, go do that. We do have one more thing.
Well, John, what's the one more thing?
Well, actually, if you don't mind, I'll take over hosting the show for a minute. You know, we have from Oculus Development, Anna Sweet to help us announce.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Anna Sweet from Oculus. Anna, welcome. Come join us. Anna, what are you doing here?
Well, I've known the team at Tripwire for a long time, so I'm really excited to be here today to help them announce a new game called Killing Floor Incursion. If you think the Killing Floor universe is intense, wait until you check it out in VR with Oculus Touch. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, and
another VR game.
A translation of the current Killing Floor 2. Instead, it is an entirely new experience in VR. Let's take a look at Killing Floor in VR.
Tripwire. Yeah, free weekend, pretty sweet. Bloody hay fever. Killing Floor Incursion, another VR thing.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this game. That looks so scary, man.
It's scary.
And I mean, like, completely outside of
no, I don't own VR.
I mean, that must have been a real interesting new space trying to figure out how to translate some of the gunplay experiences from Killing Floor into virtual reality.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that's so exciting about working on virtual reality. You know, when we got the touch controllers, we're like, this is really exciting, but how are we going to use it? We're really sailing in uncharted waters for the first time in years as game developers. So we're like, how do you model recoil in VR? How do you move? How do you, and solving all of those problems, it's been challenging, but also very exciting.
What's one of the most interesting things that you think, like especially the recoil one? How does that work?
The recoil, it's a challenge because when somebody's shooting, you don't want the gun pointing up here, but their hand feels like it's pointing in that direction.
Yeah,
so you have to be really subtle with the recoil, but you really want them to feel powerful. So that's been one of the real challenges.
And I'm curious, Anna, you work with a lot of different people and different developers in VR. How do these sort of lessons translate to other titles?
You know, it's really exciting. This is sort of a complete ability to rewrite every genre and remake all the rules, and we just see developers doing incredible things. It wasn't that long ago we didn't even know if first-person shooters would work in virtual reality, and now you have a team like Tripwire who's just redefining the genre. So it's a great time for gaming.
Well, Anna, I understand that there is an additional title that you wanted to talk about in the VR experience.
That's true. So I'm not sure if you'd call it a first-person shooter or maybe more of a ballet, but the team at Superhot has been hard at work creating a new experience that really drops gamers into a Matrix-like encounter. So we're really excited to announce that Superhot will be coming as well for Oculus Touch, and I think we have a new trailer.
Nice.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, John Gibson.
Superhot's kind of interesting. Like, why put it in Oculus and not
Thank you so much for coming
Vive?
out to talk to us.
Should be on Vive instead of Oculus, in my opinion.
Now it's time to take a look at that Superhot VR trailer.
Nice. I don't know, maybe it will be better on Oculus. I mean, the full concept of Superhot is that it's
Still like this. This is my favorite part of that whole trailer. Now, the next video piece coming up is from one of my favorite developers of all time, Obsidian, that made Fallout New Vegas, made Pillars of Eternity.
Yes!
And their upcoming RPG asks the question, what if evil won? Let's take a look at Tyranny.
Nice.
For centuries, Kairos the Overlord has conquered the known world. Dissent has been quelled. And those who once boasted of their right to rule are forced to kneel. In Kairos' empire, the execution of justice is paramount. The lawless will be broken, made to feed the flames of war. Those found deserving of authority may rise, picked from the ashes, to be the enforcers, spearheads of the cause, to judge the accused and strike down those foolish enough to resist. As the final conquest draws near, you can institute the law from above or use the banner to institute your own. The destiny of nations is yours to decide.
So hyped for Tyranny. You have no idea. You have no fucking clue.
Oh, my wallet. I will continue to buy everything you make, Obsidian. Thank you. Now, our next game that's coming up is a futuristic horror game made by the creators of Layers of Fear. Let's take a look at Observer.
What the?
Hello.
An
quit with the
interesting
fucking
trailer.
teasers.
And here to unpack it for us is Rafal Basai from Blooper Team. Rafal, welcome.
Hello,
Good to see you. Nice shirt. Hey,
thank you.
Look at that. Nice branding.
Yeah, you're looking good as well.
This is a nice floral tie. Yeah. I recently learned the word paisley. Cool, huh? Now, right away, I just want to ask, what sort of game is Observer?
Actually, it will be a little bit impolite, but I will need to answer your question with a different question. So, what would you do if your fears got hacked and used against you?
I would have a lot of spiders used against me.
Yeah, so imagine that this one sentence actually sets the premise for the whole game, but let me delve a little bit deeper into what Observer is. So, it's a hidden horror game in which you play as Dan, who is a member of a special police unit that actually is called observers, and their job is to hack other people's minds and memories. So you can imagine that you will witness a lot of twisted visions along the way in the game.
I mean, the setting is really evocative with all the digitization on the walls. Talk me about the cyberpunk setting.
Yeah, so we are setting the game in a cyberpunk universe, but then again, it's not something you know from American movies. We are setting the game in an Eastern European setting, and we are having this fight between the high-tech environment, the holograms covering the dusty and destroyed, devastated buildings and stuff like that.
Now, I have to ask, there's a lot of different spreads in the horror genre of some a little more story-focused, some a little more pure horror jump-scare-focused. Where does Observer lie in terms of gameplay?
Yeah, so it will be a full-fledged horror experience, but as with Layers of Fear, we are focusing on deep narrative and environmental storytelling. But then again, you play as a detective and an observer, so you will need to use your technology to actually scan the environment and hack other people's minds. So again, what would you do if your fears got hacked and used against you?
It would be upsetting. Let's take a look at some first ever exclusive gameplay footage of Observer.
He hasn't said anything about it. Game called Observer.
Who will?
He's coming. I can hear him out there. He won't take me. I won't let him take me.
The Dark Souls-like one looked pretty good. So it's a horror game.
Would have to be with that.
Well, apparently your character's brain's been hacked, and your deepest fears have been presented to you.
That's weird.
That is weird.
Best game ever.
We'll show you gameplay. We'll show you fuck all gameplay, apparently.
I'm gonna have to toughen up so I can play all the scary games that are being introduced this year. Looks so good. Our next guest is going to be taking over hosting for me for just a little bit. I'm very excited to hear about his game Drop Zone. Please join me in welcoming from Sparky
I'm
Pants,
very excited
Jason
to eat my
Cole.
dinner.
Take it away,
Yeah.
Jason.
I'm trying to think about what we're going to see
We're
at
excited
Ubisoft.
to announce an all-new RTS-style game called Drop Zone. At Sparky Pants, we're veterans of RTS development, but more importantly, we are huge RTS fans. And we believe great competitive RTSs start with 1v1. In Drop Zone, each player controls 3 pilots with abilities they've configured before the match using our gear
That
system.
will say anything to do with Far Cry.
Drop Zone
Maybe a
combines
new
the
Rainbow Six
strategy
map.
of a classic RTS
New
with
Assassin's
the
Creed.
fast-paced tactical
There's always
combat
a
of a
new
MOBA,
Assassin's Creed.
all in an
That's
intense
better, I
15
think.
minutes.
I'm doing it though because it's Overland.
Oh, really?
I feel like PC's always talked about how it's not like top-notch perfection, not that. But it's got some of the worst selection of games.
But it's so easy to develop for PC. But yay, an RTS. Just nothing to hide right now, is there?
I don't know, I'm just like, Come on, Sony. That's all I'm gonna say. Sony's has got to have something up their sleeve. They always do.
And I'm back. Jason nailed it. And there are never too many RTSs. Now,
like last year, Sony just nailed it with like
they're the makers of the game
Uncharted,
Arma
Final
3.
Fantasy,
An absolute
Resident Evil.
sensation
There's
on
just
the
so
modding
many
scene
big
and
titles.
a brilliant game in its own right. They're here today to talk about their upcoming expansion that is the culmination of years of work, Arma 3 Apex. Joining me will be Jay Crow from Bohemia Interactive. Jay. Hey, Jay.
Mr. Nine, sure.
Good to see. Oh, Mr. Nine. Ooh, I like that title.
Yes, thank you very much for the introduction. Maybe just let me say also thank you for being here. At Bohemia, we are big advocates of the PC, of PC gaming, so it's a real pleasure to celebrate PC gaming and PC game developers. So yeah, on behalf of the Arma 3 team, back in the
we're getting all those Xbox games.
It's great to be here. It's wonderful to have you. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. PC is almost on par with Xbox, but I also
so,
feel
I mean,
like
right away,
no one
tell
really
me a little bit
listens to
about
the
the big content that's coming up for you.
Yeah, well, last year we were here, like you said, we showed off Tanoa, 100 square kilometers of South Pacific jungly archipelago terrain. The kind of place where you can walk in an hour for one direction and always be finding something new. So what we're here to discuss today is, I guess,
is that they're always more passionate when they're talking about their games.
What weapons and vehicles that they're going to have.
Because obviously there's less of them. Like they're just in a little house right now, you know, just working on stuff and
campaign as well. And maybe
I just feel
also
like they've
a
got
little
more passion than maybe the bigger
teaser
companies.
at the end as well.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
like
you see a lot more
the amount
innovation
of content that you guys have been working on over the last 3 years is tremendous. I mean, a lot of games have a 3-year development cycle and then they release, but Arma 3
console developers
has
are
been
always
continuing
going for the
development
easy
on Arma
thing,
3
like
for 3
new
years.
Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed,
that's right.
new
We call
Call
it
of
the
Duty,
road to
new
Apex.
Battlefield.
It's been a long road.
Yeah, it's hard to
and the
stand
kind of
out
vehicles
from being
and
indie
weapons
dev
that we've got lined up for the expansion itself.
I don't know, I think that's why indie games
13
can
new
always
weapons,
do so
and we
well,
kind of see those as a
because
mix
they're
of
not
old meets new. So
scared
we've
to
got
be
some
like,
old
right, I've got an
favorites
idea
coming
for
back,
Outlast.
some
Yeah, let's go
AKs,
with
some
that.
RPGs, and these are in the hands of our French-speaking criminal faction, Syndicate. And this is sort of counterbalanced by more cutting-edge modern weaponry in the hands of our special forces. And the vehicles, which we've been taking the most time over, we've been focusing on like new classes of vehicle, new ways for our players to explore these huge terrains. We have these monstrous VTOL aircraft that can carry other vehicles inside them. They're so big. Then we have these little sort of nimble, light, fun to play with light strike vehicles. So you can sort of get your squad, pile in, and just jet around the terrain on those.
I mean, the thing that's always amazing about the Arma games is that not only is this a ton of content for the game proper, but modding is obviously a huge part of Arma 3. How did you design the content with modding in mind?
The sad thing is, Arma was
starting
nothing
with the terrain,
until the
maybe
DayZ
alone,
mod.
all of the
Nothing
mods
at all.
and game modes that you know and that you love, we can expect these to be sort of coming back with Apex and getting this fresh new setting, this jungly island terrain. And the weapons and vehicles sort of complement that. They help players maybe create also new kinds of scenarios, because we have the structure and the composition of the terrains, these islands, these jungles. It's something that we haven't seen before.
Like,
and
I believe
aside
every word
from
he's
that,
saying.
think,
I don't know what he's talking about, but like, I believe every
part
word
of the
he's
world that
saying.
we're exploring, the South Pacific, it's such a beautiful
better
part
than
of the
Bethesda.
world. And it has kind of this also quite difficult or sometimes sad history. And we
Well,
know
there's
that our
no gimmick.
modders
He's
are
talking about something that
the
he
kind of
believes in.
gamers that will go out there and make new scenarios based on it and inspired by that.
Whereas the
We're really
Bethesda
looking
guy
forward to
talking
seeing what
about,
they come up with.
I'm excited
Dishonored
now
2 is
to
just dire.
start off this world exclusive, the very first look at Arma 3 Apex.
Delta 1-0. Be advised that's my call sign complete. Now moving to objective London. Out. Roger. Launch arc. PID all packed. Go when ready. Alamo, you're up.
Out of any of the FPSs that we've seen so far at E3, Arma 3 is still my favourite.
Go, go!
Oh, come on. Arma 2 was nothing. It was a pretty poor game with a pretty poor engine. Sad.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Jay, you snuck a release date in on us.
Yeah, we might have seen the first announcement of our release date. That's the 11th of July, or July 11th, if we're going English simplified.
I didn't even know what you said at first. I'm so glad you translated it back to American.
And aside from that, maybe you might have seen snuck in there as well was, right now the guys back in Prague staying up late watching the show, helping us out. They've just pushed the button on, hopefully, pushed the button on a special Apex sneak preview build. So if you've pre-ordered Apex, and if you're on the development branch, right now you're downloading all of those.
Right now?
Yeah, right now you're downloading those weapons and vehicles, and Tanwar itself, of course. So your ISP is going nuts, and yeah, a few gigabytes coming down the pipe right now.
That's awesome. So, I mean, mods could be part of the official launch date now.
Well, exactly. We have a few weeks. You can kind of get on board, help us with our, I guess, sort of beta testing before this release of July 11th. And we'll see, yeah, everything that we know and love in splendid green hell fashion.
That's awesome, Jay. Thank you so much for coming out. Jay Crow from Bohemia Interactive and Arma 3 Apex.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
What makes Arma 3 different from Battlefield? I'm
Now,
not much
our
of an
next
FPS gamer.
title is from Bulkhead.
Arma is a
Square
realistic
Enix.
battle simulation.
It tries to answer the question,
Whereas
are
Battlefield's
there
more
robots
arcadey.
on Europa? Let's take a look at Turing Test.
The Turing Test is a first-person puzzler set on
Oh my God,
Jupiter's
really?
ice moon Europa.
We started with a common science fiction question: is there life on Europa? And we went to scientific advisors to try and get an idea of what that life would actually be. So we're telling a science fiction story, and it is really fictionalized, and we have lasers and all this kind of stuff, but it's based in an underlying reality of wanting to tell a story that could actually be true.
The original prototype was really cool because what happened when we saw people play it is they instantly understood what was happening and they understood the mechanics of the game. It's kind of a game where you pick up and you can just play it. You learn through the mechanics, and that's something that we wanted to push in terms of design. We wanted people from any background to be able to come and pick up the controller and find it a fun experience to play.
When the team showed me the Turing Test, I thought it was a great development on their last game. You feel a lot more involved in the world, you have a lot more control over the environment, and it just opens the world up to a lot more possibilities, really.
We present the player with, you know, a linear story that they can progress through. But as well as this linear story, there's also elements underneath that that will change the meaning of the story for the player as they experience it.
It's incredibly pretty. Yeah. So it's a puzzler. Yeah. Heavily inspired, looks like. Looks really nice.
Developing the game has been about that challenge of making something functional but beautiful.
Just a beautiful video piece. Thank you so much, Bulkhead and Square Enix.
That was weird.
Our next guest taking the stage is here to talk about how scary it is to drive across the country. From Finji, join me in welcoming Heather Penn.
Can we not get someone to talk about games?
Hi. So Overland is a survival strategy game where you take a road trip across a post-apocalyptic North America. Every level you visit is procedurally generated, and you have to manage your fuel, your weapons, and other supplies by making the right calls along the road. We're currently running a limited first access alpha program on itch.io, and starting right now, we have 1,000 keys available. So to check that out, you can visit our site at overland-game.com. Okay, let's look at the trailer.
She seemed like she was shitting herself. An interesting little indie survival game. Weird to see it at E3 though, that's really odd. Well, I'll probably cover that on the channel. Oh.
What a lovely game to say everything is stressful, right? Once again, that was Overland. Coming up next, we have a game with extremely high ambitions to be the next big space sim. Let's take a look at Dual Universe.
What? Not No Man's Sky. Are you high? Another space game though. I haven't heard anything about this.
Everything's first person.
Alright, so space engineers. That ship in front of them looks very space engineers-y.
To join me in talking about what we just saw, let's welcome from Nova Quark, Jean-Christophe Bailly.
Hey,
Bonjour. Welcome to the stage.
Thanks.
Now, right away, I mean, there's so many elements that we're seeing in that trailer. What is Dual Universe about at its core?
Okay, so it's a sci-fi MMO, obviously. And for me, it's an old dream that I have as a gamer, and I think I'm not the only one. It's to build, this online virtual world where basically everything is possible, where you can build anything you want and become anything you want. So that's not a very new story. I mean, there have been a lot of games before saying that. So what exactly do we bring? As you see in the video, the first thing is that you can really build anything. You can build your ship, you can build your space station, you can build your house, your city. You can actually harvest minerals from the ground in the planets. Everything is editable. We've done a voxel technology to do that. The second thing, which is very important, is that all this takes place in what we call a continuous single shard universe. That means that everybody plays in the same world at the same time. There's no instances, no loading screen, no zone where you have to queue and things like that. So if you want to have a huge city with thousands of people in it, you can do that. So there's a lot of technology to do this. And
So, I mean, I gotta ask, there's a whole lot of space sim type games. I mean, there's already EVE Online, there's Elite Dangerous, No Man's Sky people are buzzing about. How does Dual Universe fit in with those? How does it contrast with them?
There are a lot of aspects of the gameplay we have that you will find in other games. But what we do is we put everything together into this huge world that is shared by everyone. And it changes everything. Because if you build a ship, I mean, you can, perhaps you're going to build a ship that's going to be very successful on the in-game markets. And it's going to be the ship that everybody pilots almost. So you can become famous, you can become rich, you can have your personal story. If you win a war, I mean, you can actually change the balance of power in this world. So everything has a meaning, everything is important, everything matters. And people are able to create this collective story together. And we've put a lot of emergent gameplay also in this. So you can create political systems, you can create your economy, you can create your organizations, and a lot of things like that, so that people can really build up anything.
So, I mean, you're talking so much about player-to-player interaction. How do you keep everyone together? I mean, I assume that the universe is going to be large, as just sort of classic in a space sim. Walk me through that.
So everybody starts at the same place, in the Ark ship, on the alien planets, and then you spread from there. Based on the technology you unlock, you will go further and further. So there's no limit to the size of the universe, but there's a limit to how far you're going to explore it. That's one thing. The other thing is that we are concerned about, creating quality content, because we don't create the content, players do. So the idea is that every force we put in the game, we put also a counter force, so that we have a
Not interested
equilibrium
at all.
emerging between the players. That's
So you don't
the
just
idea.
have some weird break where the only correct thing to do in the game is do
No,
mining or
players are
something
going
like that.
to choose what they like and what they don't like, also through the markets.
Emergent gameplay just doesn't.
Something that is nice is going to.
Whenever a
sell
company
more.
says
If
emergent
sells
gameplay, it
more,
means
then you're
we're
gonna
going to
see more
stick
of
you
them.
in the universe and see
That's
what you
simple,
do.
like in real life, actually.
Yeah. So when is this game going to be available?
So we have a lot of work to do. So this is just a pre-alpha that we've seen. We hope to shoot an alpha, a closed alpha, at the beginning of 2017. So that's the schedule. Until then, we're very fond of creating a large community of people talking with us, discussing with us the game. We really love that. We love the feedback. We already have people on the forums, Twitter, Facebook. So that's what we want to do. And we're going to launch also a community website, which I like. Cool. The idea is that you can create a character already, and you can also start to create an organization like, Pirate Guild or something, and recruit and start a role play on this website. We're going to launch that in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome. I mean, having the community focus, always so important in this sort of game. And I'm really excited to see what Dual Universe brings as well. Ladies and gentlemen, Jean-Christophe Bailly from Nova Corps, thank you for talking to us about Dual Universe today. Now, coming up next is not exactly a game. It is about the tools of the trade for gamers. It's time for us to take a look at a video that celebrates the mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. Oh, Razer. Yeah, new Razer peripherals. Woohoo!
What makes PC gaming different? It's the mouse and keyboard.
I mean, they're really part of the reason why we even have point-and-click adventures, RTSs, action RPGs, I mean, even FPSs.
The mouse is our eyes and our aim.
It's an extension of our reflexes.
It's all about freedom and customization.
PC gamers care about what's under the hood. They care about how it all works.
You've got people who are passionate about the type of mechanical key switches they use.
My favorite key?
I can download it.
The tilde, hands down.
Just imagine PC gaming without a mouse and keyboard.
When I'm playing Bastion in Overwatch and raffle-stomping newbies, I need the precision that only a mouse can give me.
Raffle-stomping newbies. Wow.
If I had to pick one word to describe a mouse and keyboard, total control.
Speed.
Maybe just total.
Letters.
Clicking.
Thanks. That sucks. Yeah, I can only get it in 3 seconds. Yeah.
And this is a particularly apt segment because coming up next, we have the sequel to a console RTS called Halo Wars. Joining us from 343 Industries to talk about Halo Wars 2, it's Dan Ayu. Dan!
Hey!
Hey! Welcome!
How's
Good
it
to
going?
see you.
Good to see you.
Come join me on this awesome
Let's talk about
comfy
some more
chair.
Halo Wars. That's interesting.
Now, you're making Halo Wars 2, and it's going to be on PC. Tell me about how that is just the awesomest decision you've ever made.
That could very well be the best decision I've ever made. So obviously, first Halo Wars, it's been a while since that. Still the best-selling console RTS of all time. But one of the big things we heard from people coming out of it, in particular PC gamers, is, well, this just feels like a natural fit for PC. Why aren't you guys doing that? So with Halo Wars 2, we wanted to make sure that we were, coming out on Win 10 as well. So the product's gonna release on both platforms at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, on February 21st, 2017, it's going to be coming out, and we're on the floor around this week as well. So it's been a really great move for us because obviously that's just a genre that fits so naturally.
Absolutely.
As we were just looking at for a mouse and keyboard interface. So it's been great.
So this is some gameplay footage from Halo Wars 2. Just walk me through what's happening.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a cut from the first mission of the game. And really what we're doing is establishing the UNSC presence on the Ark. Now, what you're
what we really wanted to do, we had a few goals with the game. What we're looking at now is, well, you're seeing great there, just great graphics and really great player feedback as well. Big focus on tracer fire, making it very clear who's shooting at you, what you're shooting at. And really, we like to call it internally an action RTS. So very quick to action and a lot of fun just blowing stuff up. So there's some spectacular explosions, some great effects. You know, at this point, I think we're going to, yeah, there's some good boom there. We're going to start to see some flame effects pretty quickly. We just wanted to put a lot of focus on just making the game look beautiful and a huge focus on control as well. And really, how do you make an RTS for everyone, right? RTS can be a bit of a...
Yeah, a very daunting genre.
Absolutely, right? It can be really challenging. Always my favorite genre when I was growing up. I was a big PC RTS player. So I'm really sensitive to the fact that, you know, a lot of my gamer friends growing up were like, oh, that's really scary. I don't know about that. So you're going to see, yeah, there's just some great effects and some great flame right there. We're going to focus a lot on very classic multiplayer modes that RTS players want and expect, but we've also got a number of brand new styles of multiplayer that we're going to be talking more about as we get closer to launch. That is going to be something that
I'm really interested in Halo Wars 2. Like, I want to give it a go, but
jump in and enjoy. I actually do want to dig into that because
the issue with playing it on PC is it's like Halo Wars was so made for console.
That's obviously going to be tricky to balance with how many people are obsessed
when you
with
take it, when you compare it to PC RTSs, it just doesn't even stand up.
So yeah, no, great question. The plan is really to treat them as different people, right? I mean, these are very, very different kinds of gamers. So we announced a beta today at the Microsoft conference that's going to focus on a couple of our more
you're still
competitive
disappointed with
classic
Bethesda after watching PC
style
gaming?
RTS modes, like, you know, your classic deathmatch mode, for example, where, you know, you and I build our respective bases, we build our armies, and we go
at
at
least,
one another.
like, the thing about
and, you know,
PC
for
gaming
me,
is
that's
at least
gonna be
you're
one of those
seeing
very
game
classic modes that
gameplay.
your more hardcore RTS player is going to want to enjoy. We've got some other modes coming, again, that we're not talking about at this point, but that are going to be very simple, a lot quicker to get into the action, take some of the strain off of resource management and things like that, so people can just focus on building a really badass army and getting into the action.
And of course, I have to ask about the fact that you're talking about, you know, releasing on different platforms. How did you sort of deal with the control puzzle there?
Yeah, you know, one thing definitely want people to hear is, you know, we're not just porting console controls over to PC. Mouse and keyboard is very, very different, and we wanted to be very, very true to that. We've got a number of things we wanted to take advantage of, like groupings, for example, right? Multiple groupings on a mouse and keyboard. Just the quick nature of it, the ability to navigate the map really, really quickly, as well as a few other PC functions that, again, we're going to be talking a little more about. But yeah, so it's always for me, like, what's the best interface for the console or the PC that you're playing on, right? So we have a specific set of controls for that console controller, and we have a different set of controls for the mouse and keyboard player, so it feels a lot more, you know, specialized.
Well, Dan, I'm really excited you came out to share Halo Wars 2 with us.
My pleasure.
Dan Ayub from 343 Industries. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
See, as I said before, you can never have too many RTSs, which is part of the reason why I'm so excited that we've gotten a chance to see so many of them come out here today. Now, coming up next, there is a game whose title I'm not allowed to say. They informed me that I needed to wait for him to say it, so in 30 seconds, we will be able to find out the title of the upcoming game. It is from the makers of Insurgency, from New World Interactive. Let's welcome Andrew Spearin.
E3 appearance, and truly a big moment for us. It has taken perseverance, adaptation, and teamwork to find success as an indie developer in this highly competitive business. By no coincidence, these are the qualities required to win a match of Insurgency. On behalf of the entire team at New World, led by our game director and CEO, Jeremy Blum, we are proud to reveal today our second game, releasing on Steam Early Access next month. Following the trailer, visit PCGamer.com for an exclusive preview. We hope to see you on the front lines in Day of Infamy.
Day of Infamy.
Radio! Someone find me a bloody radio! Bloody hell! You took the scenic route, didn't you? Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Wow.
Come on, this is one section. Request immediate barrage on objective Able. Over.
They've got someone actually Scottish to do the Scottish voices. I'm pretending to be Scottish.
All right, lads. We've got a war to win.
Wow. Not excited at all. Looks PS2 era.
Day of
I'm not
Infamy. I
interested
can
at all,
finally
man.
say it. Day of Infamy. Love those beautiful, different environments. Now, coming up next to announce a new game are the makers of Chivalry Medieval Warfare. Join me in
Oh.
welcoming Steve Piggott.
Dig up your GameCube.
Steve, I want to ask about your upcoming new game, Mirage Arcane Warfare, where I understand you're kind of taking the sword fighting combat from Chivalry and putting magic in there.
Yeah, that's it in a
Nice.
nutshell. I mean, Chivalry was the first game we made. It was basically medieval time sword fighting, first person, multiplayer. What we've done is add magic into that mix and really add the magic into the sword fighting system. So basically in this game, you're just going to be chopping off heads with swords and blasting people apart with magic.
And I mean, the thing that you took the time to talk about a little yesterday with me is that this combat it's very much so about watching the animations of your opponent. It's very deliberate. Talk to
why
me
they
about
went
how
with
you
this
designed
art
the combat
direction,
for this sort of
though.
experience.
Yeah, for us it's really important that it has a deliberate feel to it, and that really shines through in the fact that you can block any attack. You can block any projectile, a guy charging at you, it doesn't matter, you can block it. If I hit you before you hit me, it's actually going to interrupt your attack. So people are really wary of each other, they're watching each other, it's a really tense combat situation. It kind of feels like a duel. We are going back and forth, attacking and blocking at the last second. And for us that's really important to actually sell the deliberateness of the combat and get people to really think about what their opponent's doing before they make actions.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Dark Souls.
Yeah, we like to think of it as bringing like fighting game mechanics into a competitive multiplayer first-person shooter.
Well, we have a chance to look at an exclusive
get
gameplay
exploded.
trailer for Mirage that I want to hop into right now so we can get the chance to see that multiplayer action right now.
I mean, this could be kind of interesting. But yeah, like, the art style's just so strange. They should have went with something gritty and realistic, like Skyrim style. As opposed to this, like, cartoony comic book look. Yeah. Looks pretty decent though. Just like I said, that art style just putting me off.
You know, one of the things that I noticed in that trailer
Looks
right away
interesting, though.
is the unique art style. It seems like a mix between Arabian and Persian.
Yeah, we kind of used Persian and Arabian kind of architecture and
Bam!
landscapes. You got
Nailed
it. To inspire us. And so you'll be fighting in like beautiful white marble palaces or scattered desert ruins
Just
throughout the matches.
Yeah, I mean, how did you wind up settling on that sort of style for this type of game?
Well, it was something that we hadn't really seen done before, and also gave us a great opportunity to create contrast. So you have kind of this beautiful, pristine-looking area, and then you have this kind of really harsh desert area. And also, we just kind of wanted it to, we have kind of like really clean colors and bright colors, and we wanted it to kind of feel like a calm, you know, almost peaceful setting, and then people will go in there and just shatter that with violence.
And all the screaming and the intensity. I love seeing the blocking action there.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge thing for us is really, you know, the satisfaction, the crunch of combat is about half of the game experience that we're making here. So,
when can I play it?
It's coming out fall this year, and there's going to be a beta at the end of the summer.
Well, that was awesome. What an easy answer. Ladies and gentlemen from Torn Banner Studios, Steve Piggott. Thanks
It's
so much for coming out,
Overwatch, the
Steve.
Prince of Persia pimp version.
Our next game coming up is absolutely darling. It gives you the opportunity to make all your own spells. Let's take a look at Mages of Mystralia.
Mages can shape magic into whatever they want.
That's kind of cute.
They combine runes into patterns, just like constellations in the starry sky. And in this bewildering darkness, they're the valley's only hope. So, tell me, what spells will you create?
Just charming. Love that video. Coming up next, we have a new game mode for a game that
How long is the bloody
really
PC
just
one? It
surprises
seems to
me
have been
the
going on
entire
forever.
lifetime of
100
a game
minutes,
called
should be finished in
Warframe, where they snuck
10
in
past.
2013 and really without making that much noise, quietly crept up to being one of the most played games on Steam right now. Let's take a look at their upcoming game mode, Warframe Lunaro.
My pupil, you have honored the Tenno, scaling the bone mountains of war. You have attained mastery, paid for in blood and suffering. But even the greatest warriors need a reprieve from combat. And so it is with Lunaro, the honor sport of a lost time.
I'm just
Here
waiting on
you
them
will
hitting us
grow
with something
new dimensions
like
of
absolutely
skill.
massive at the end of this.
Focused not on violence, but on teamwork and coordination.
Oh! What the fuck?
Your prize, not
Sports
war
ball.
spoils, but friendship and harmony.
That's pretty cool. Like
Lunaro
lacrosse,
team
so Warframe.
at the ready.
Lunaro. Warframe, ninjas, play free.
Well, as a huge fan of Rocket League, I kind of feel like I'm going to be a huge fan of that. Now, we're not done with upcoming announcements for Warframe. Do we have any Warframe players here right now? Yes, you're allowed to clap.
Yeah, the Ubisoft conference,
We
conference
have an
has started, but they're doing
exclusive
Just Dance just now.
giveaway for all sorts of upcoming goodies in this next video. Let's go ahead and take a look. And now coming up is the final game that we will be talking about today. They're revisiting us from last year, here to talk about the very first level of Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Join me in welcoming Jean-Francois Dugas and Patrick Fortier from
Oh,
Eidos
that's
Montreal.
interesting. Getting some Deus Ex info.
Welcome. Good to see you. Hey, pleasure to see you. Now, let's kick it right off Talk to me about this first level, Dubai.
Well, Dubai, it's the first map of the game, and actually it bridges the gap between Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, in the sense that in the last game, it was all about transhumanism, what you can be and everything. And we use the Icarus myth to illustrate that idea. Like if you fly with your wings, it's all the possibilities, the full potential of what you can be. But if you go too close to the sun, you can burn your wings and then eventually fall into the sea. And basically, at the beginning of this game, it's really black and gold, but especially gold. And so it represents like this dream. And Jensen goes into his first mission, and there's the sunset like we see on screen right now. And Jensen dives into an old abandoned hotel under construction. And it was built by augmented people. And now what you see, it's the remaining of that. And it's basically saying that at the beginning of this game, it's the end of the Icarus myth, it's the end of the dream, and now we're going into a darker world.
I'm really excited to take a look at this gameplay footage right now. Now, just so you all know, because I know there's someone on Twitch right now who's like, hey, wait a minute, this is on PC. It's just being played with a PlayStation controller. That's why you're seeing those controls show up. So again, this is the PC footage that we're taking a look at. So Patrick, walk me through the sort of construction of this level, what it is that communicates all the different ways that you can play Deus Ex.
Gameplay-wise, one of the things that's really important for us is we're presenting a different Jensen who's much more comfortable with his augmentations. We wanted that to translate to the gameplay as well, so we're really looking for a lot of fluidity, a really dynamic system. So one of the things that we're seeing there is like the new cover system. So you can actually do cover to cover forward and the cover vault. You can do takedowns from cover. You can have access to the augmentations a little differently on the fly as well. So that Dubai level is actually an introduction to all that, or a refresher course for people that are a little bit more familiar with Human Revolution.
I mean, well, I feel like one of the big themes of people who are huge fans of Deus Ex is non-lethal playthroughs, just playing through in that sneaky fashion. Talk to me about some of that being incorporated here.
Well, the really fun part is that, you know, the way that we design a lot of the augmentations, we're really putting it, we're really seeing it as tools that we're trying to empower players with, and then it's up to them how they want to use it. So even something like the stealth augmentation is something that, you know, you could use it to sneak around and really be invisible. You could use it for combat as well. You know, if you just want to, you know, flank somebody and move to another side. A lot of the augmentations are thought that way. Like the PEPs, the gun arm is something like that as well. You can take out people non-lethally. You can do it from a corner, but you could also use it in combat. If somebody throws a grenade at you, and you could PEPs it back to them. You know, and you could, you know. So we're really trying to come up with ways of letting players be creative with our elements.
And I feel like in terms of the narrative, also to the ability for players to shape it with their choices. How does that factor into Mankind Divided?
Well, it's super important. We really wanted to push the choice and consequence experience, and for us it was not only about big moments. You choose A or B, and then it's a different course. But it's also when you interact with characters, depending on audience, you react differently. You see them afterwards and things like that. So we really wanted to have different layers of choice and consequence. And for example, in the Dubai level, it starts right away at the beginning when they tell you like you have to do this mission quick, and there's this sandstorm is coming and everything. And depending on how you play, you can finish the mission without the sandstorm. But if you take your time or whatever, you can end up in the sandstorm, and now the visibility is affected, but for everyone, and it changes also with the AI, how they're going to react, and there's a chopper that is about to take off, and maybe it's going to delay the takeoff and things like that.
That's awesome. And now we got the chance to talk a little bit yesterday about the sort of customization settings that were core, even extending all the way into the interface. I mean, Patrick, can you talk to me a little bit about those features?
It's really important for players to be able to customize their game experience, and some of the stuff that we're doing with UI is really interesting as well. You can actually scale the UI completely if you want it to be like very, very unobtrusive, or if you want it to be more present and really use the radar properly. You can take some stuff out if you don't want to have any interaction glow and stuff, and you want the really hardcore experience. Or you can actually put it to sleep, and so you have it contextual depending on when you're using energy or weapons. Otherwise, you know, you get the clean UI. So it's really important for the whole player freedom philosophy to translate into the options, into the game experience as well.
It's been a real pleasure to see the updates for Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Jean-François Dugas and Patrick Fortier from Eidos Montreal, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming out.
Pleasure.
And that is our final game to announce and to talk about today. However, it is not our last segment. In the same way that Deus Ex Mankind Divided is the exciting, most recent iteration, Deus Ex, the original game, still shows up on top lists when I talk to my friends about their favorite PC games of all time, too. It keeps coming up again and again. And the man that made Deus Ex has been in the industry for 2 decades, and we wanted to invite him to the stage to talk about the future of PC gaming to close us out. Please join me in welcoming a legend of the industry, Warren Spector.
Okay, before I get started, it's been 3 decades in the game business, not just 2. And I want to thank the PC Gamer folks for letting me come out here and speak to all of you folks. I wish I had something to announce. You have no idea how much I wish I had something to announce, but I don't. So what I want to talk about today is the past, present, and future of the PC as a gaming platform. So.
Well, if we've got nothing extra to announce, then I'm pretty happy with cutting off there and moving over to the Ubisoft conference. I will give you guys a link to join me in chat now. So pop over to there and we'll be covering the Ubisoft conference. See you soon.